This is absolutely not clickbait. I'm about to show you exactly what is going on in the market and what sort of steps you can maybe take before, well, the hits the fan. And more so, it's more about just recognizing what the current conditions are. And then, everyone's here is a big boy, big girl kind of sort of thing and should make their own decisions. So I'm not here to give you financial advice. I'm just here to show you what are the horrible warning signs that we're currently seeing. Right now, it's 4 a.m. here in Israel, and you can see the pre-market. Basically, you can see the futures right now. It's already not looking all too healthy, but this is not what we want to be looking at. What I want you to look at is this current channel. If you can tell right away, we actually already hit that very resistance that we found ourselves hitting right there on January, December 2021, November 2021, basically that very same ceiling. Those who remember and understand what last time happened when we ended up testing that very ceiling, that very resistance, we ended up collapsing all the way to the bottom of the channel. Right now, as it appears to be, we're just getting started. A lot of people are basically thinking, oh, that's it, it's said and done. And I will argue that yes, we could end up retesting. For example, I would like to draw your attention just to the fact of the matter that if this channel is persistent and will end up continuing as is, but simply by the virtue of testing its median, which is sitting roughly at around 5,882, which correlates, of course, to roughly the same levels on the regular S&P, not on the futures contract. And likewise, when we're talking about the ceiling, which basically is very much adjacent to the 6,000 and still not out of the picture completely, I would argue that if we end up testing this ceiling, we might as well test 6,000 easily. So don't expect it to happen right away tomorrow as you wake up, the entire market crashes to a 4,000 handle kind of thing. No, it's not necessarily going to happen right away. But even if we're looking at the futures, at the current hourly chart, you can already see that we're unable to break the 50 range on the stochastic RSI and already bearish and pointing downwards, which means we probably more likely going to end up continuing dragging this on to the bottom of this channel, as you can tell based upon this structure. That means we're roughly talking about 5,784 already based upon the futures as they stand right now. If we will continue this channel on the regular contract, basically, you can tell that simply by reaching the bottom, even on a rather slow trajectory downwards, we kind of end up roughly at around 4,800 and 4,808, okay, 4,808 basically, which kind of correlates magnificently, if you can tell right here, as we said, with the bottom of the channel. And this is very common behavior of the market. So all in all, if you think about it, this is just beginning. There's a lot of time ahead. And I know and understand that there's a lot of wishful thinking to hope and pray that your individual assets will not be affected. But this is, for example, Palantir. I've made a video about it today, and we spoke about this in my community in depth. By the way, those who don't know, and I will mention this later, we've been preparing for this very event in my community for months on end in various ways. Of course, I'll post the links, and you can find the links in the description of this video to my Patreon, and subsequently you'll be able to unlock the Discord. No other way to join my Discord because it is 100% private. All right, for now, let's continue. So as you can tell, individual assets are already starting to look not too healthy. And if we're talking right here about the weekly chart, that means we are yet not even seeing the full brunt of the correction, let alone an actual downwards trend. So currently we're looking roughly at ranges of 60, 50, for example, if we're talking about Palantir, which not necessarily correlate directly with this bottom, if you can tell right away. What we are talking about, probably, if anything, is roughly that median. So we don't necessarily assess the entire breakdown will collapse immediately in a singular movement, but rather it's far more likely for the market to end up retesting that median multiple times and having then a bit of a correction or a relief period before it continues downwards. So it's not going to happen as a singular movement as a lot of people expect it to happen. And once the correction does start, people will say, oh, that is it, it's all said and done, and from here on out we're bullish. I would argue that will not be the case. And in fact, if you look at the monthly and understand that based upon the monthly structure as it's building up to very similar sort of perimeters, you can already tell that this process may take, well, a year-ish. Again, where it's hard to say, and I'm not even trying to time the market nor tell you how long will the whole process take. I'm simply telling you what could be an acceptable range of time for this process to take. Okay, so basically what you can tell and why this video is so urgent is because this is just getting started. Now, I myself liquidated most of my positions too early, if you will. I have expected the market to start correcting at about 5,400, and so I've been out for quite a while and building up a very neat position on S triple Q, inverted Q positions, inverted triple Q position, basically triple leveraged. And so it does have time decay, so I wouldn't recommend this sort of endeavor to anybody and everybody. In fact, this is not financial advice. I'm simply telling you what me and my part of my community members are doing individually, of course. And there are other methods. Some people would like to liquidate part of their portfolio, maybe go into bonds with that liquidated partition. A lot of people would like to take out their original investment if possible and just retain the profits. So again, to each their own. There are various methods that could could be used to approach the current situation. And in fact, there is another method of doing nothing, simply waiting for the bottom and DCAing into it. And again, if you find that more comfortable, you do you. I'm not here to tell you what you should do. I'm just here to point out what the current technical conditions are implying for the market to do. That's all. That's kind of all I wanted to bring to your attention. Now, a quick shout out to my Patreon. Another, again, quick, just gigantic shout out to all the new members. This is how you join the Patreon. Of course, don't forget to mark the ticker there in the middle. As you can see, it gives you 15% discount. So instead of $20 a month, it's 17. Of course, the other packages, you can see the 42.5 and the 84.15 give you private time with me. Each and every one of them give you a more time. The basic pack gives you basically just the Patreon, access to Patreon, where we discuss on the daily basis with the community from daily events to technical analysis of various assets, and of course look deeper into what the market might do in the near-term future, further-term future. Of course, we look at everything, and we do that through the tools of technical analysis, basically. And that's it. This is, I highly recommend joining. Don't miss out. And yeah, my members actually knew about what was coming, and we were prepared far in advance. To know, join the community, you'll be a part of it, and you'll know exactly what we expect and talk about in my wonderful community. Thank you very much. I hope to see you tomorrow on the Discord. Bye-bye.